Welcome back to the Balance Boldly podcast for ambitious women in business and a few brave men. I'm your host, Naketa Ren Thigpen, ecstatic to be back in the house with you today. Let me dive right into the amazingness. You know how you meet someone, see someone, follow someone, and they say something that stands out and grabs your attention, like, hey, I need to meet this person in an intimate way. I need to connect with them. Well, this is what happened with my next upcoming guest. It was over a year ago. I was in a completely different state of mind, but always in the foundation of my mission for building stronger families. And this gorgeous woman said something powerful and potent, just kind of sharing. She wasn't trying to do a pitch or talk about a signature event. She was just, I would say, blogging. She was just sharing her thought process, and it resonated so much. Now, full transparency, guys, I don't even remember what it was, but she left an impression. And that's all you need to do with me is leave an impression. And I immediately followed up and was like, hey, woman, I really need to interview you on my show. I don't know when, I don't know how, but we need to make it happen. And here we are almost a year later, making it happen. So let me introduce you to Alma Bradford. She is a business growth consultant and online educator, helping hundreds of people start and grow service-based businesses, which is a pretty big deal, especially in this age that we're in. From online courses to group coaching programs, Alma is doing her thing, and she is doing it while balancing family. Alma, welcome to the BBP. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this discussion today. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I would love to know more about why you chose service-based businesses, because it's a lot of people that's scared of that right now. It's easier to sell t-shirts and baseball caps, right? But what made you choose this as a way of creating the life that you want?
Yeah. So before I started my business, I was working in corporate as a management consultant, and I started my business on the side. So I was working 40 hours a week, and I was doing consulting, marketing for small businesses mainly. And slowly from there, I didn't really use money like startup money. I just used my skill set. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have to spend a lot of money to start my business because I used what was in my mind and my experience and my expertise. And I'm really passionate about teaching other people how to do that, because you don't need to take out a loan, to start a service-based business. You don't need a bunch of startup capital. And I feel like most small businesses actually fail within the first couple of years. Mm-hmm. And a big part of that is not having enough cash flow, right? So when you start a business that doesn't require you to invest, thousands of dollars, you are able to be a lot more leaner and a lot more profitable. Yeah. And so I'm really passionate about teaching people how to do that. And then once you get your service-based business up and running and it's profitable, like right now I'm doing mine full time, then you can start going in different directions, because now you have the cash flow and you can invest in other types of businesses. And maybe some of those businesses do require, to invest or whatever. You can open up a car wash. You can open up, you can invest in real estate. You can invest in selling online clothes, whatever it is that you want to sell. So I just feel like I want to show people how to do this profitably, because the honest truth is a lot of times we don't have venture capitalists backing us up, right? True. So as small business owners, we're bootstrapping with our own money. And so when you don't have these big VC firms, like a lot of the tech startups have, everything is on you. And to reduce the outcome of you failing and to make it more attainable, right, mm-hmm. for the average Joe, I teach people this specific model to grow a business. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. I'll be honest. When my husband and I started our company, this year will be 12 years old. We were completely bootstrapped. Now, in all full transparency, we did try to get loans, and we had a 750 plus credit score and all that. We were just unfortunately the Black families that people are just finding about now, where the major banks were turning away specifically because of our race. It had nothing to do with cash flow or anything else. And what was a rejection ended up being a blessing for us, because we did start our business with no loans. It wasn't our plan. We wanted to have that capital for the reason that you said. When you have that capital, you can hire faster, you can get some things in place, but then you're also taking on a larger overhead debt. So we didn't have that larger overhead debt because of that, kind of unfortunate blessing that happened when we were getting rejected just because of the color of our skin, which is a whole different bag of bones, right? And things. And then we had to figure out how to be really lean is the word that I'm looking for financially, to make sure that we could take a new idea, grow this business, put all the energy, because we didn't have extra capital besides the money we had personally saved for our family and our future, and invest it in a really smart way into which we have a service-based business as well. So it makes a lot of sense that you would focus on that, because I will tell you, Alma, there's a lot of people today in 2023 that feel that if they can't get a line of credit or a business credit card or anything that's substantial, that they just shouldn't. They're taking it as a sign to not start the business. And you're saying, no, there's a formula, there's a method, there's a way that Alma Bradford, created that can actually help you not just start and survive in a business, but to thrive in one. That's what I hear you saying.
Yes. And that's why I'm really, really passionate about teaching people how to grow service-based businesses. Yep. So that's all in a nutshell. That's my purpose.
No, I love it. So how has doing the business that you're doing right now, how has it worked for you with your family? Like, how has it helped you live the life that you want in terms of the way that you work, the lightness or heaviness of your days and your weeks? How does that serve you?
Yeah, I could say it's been a journey, and I'm very transparent. Like, if you follow me on YouTube or any Instagram or Facebook, I share my ups and downs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people glamorize entrepreneurship, but it's not glamorous. I want to tell you right now, you're going to be working a lot, and it's going to be scary. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, not all the time, you're going to have times where you make a lot of money and it just feels super easy. And it's just you could take long naps and not work for a couple of weeks, right? I've had all of those things, but then you're going to have ups and downs. The economy changes, things change it. And then also you change as a person throughout the time. I've been doing my business full time for the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. And thank God we've been maintaining 6 figures in the business every year, which is good. And I feel like honestly, you really just need to have a 6-figure business minimum to do it full time. With, inflation, cost of living, it's just the only way. I don't see any other way. You got to hit that 100K or more mark. And so it's been good. But one of the things, I think the reason why you found me too is because one of the things I was talking about is, and I talk about this in my content, is that you have to build a business based on what makes sense to you. And you shouldn't always try to model yourself after what you see other people doing on social media. Because like I said, they try to glamorize a lot of influencers glamorize working for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think that it gives an impression to other people like, oh, it's so easy. My life is going to be I'll be so happy when I'm doing this. I'm going to be on the beach all the time. And I don't think that's realistic. I'm not saying that you can't do that. You can absolutely go on vacations, right? You could travel. Like, I'm planning a family. I'm actually, after we get off the phone, I need to plan my vacation with my dad. We're going to do a father-daughter trip. I mean, I could tell you my business has allowed me to have a lot of freedom and flexibility. I do own my own schedule.
Yeah.
But I feel like people get trapped sometimes in this online marketing world or social media facade of, they don't get the reality of what it's like. You're going to have ups and downs. So this is why it's really important that you're going to be doing something that you're passionate about and that is in alignment with your values. So the types of services you sell, your marketing message, it needs to resonate with you. Otherwise, you're going to feel disconnected from it. And if you try to follow a lot of the gurus online, a lot of them will have you feeling so ungrateful, like you're never enough. And I do teach social media, but I will tell you, social media is very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of studies done that it affects your mental health.
Yes.
And that's part of that is, I mean, I know you found me on Facebook, but in all honesty, like my plan is to kind of get away from those platforms and kind of focus more on my newsletter and my YouTube channel. And I use Pinterest as well.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of email marketing, which I teach people as well. You got to have an email list so you can connect with your audience, and you don't want to rely on social media. But what I would say is, if you're trying to start a business, or if you have a business, don't try to copy a lot of what you see online, because there's a lot of people that are just, maybe they're influencers and they get brand sponsorships and they got to get a lot of views on their posts, and what they're saying really isn't true, right? So, and it's just the nature of the way the game works. So I am just really passionate about showing people, like, look, build a business that is in alignment with your value system so that it's sustainable and you feel passionate about it, and build your business in a way that makes sense to you. There are so many different ways to offer your services. You could do one-to-one, you can do group coaching and courses, but you can do it in a way that makes sense to you, your personality, and your lifestyle goals.
I 1,000% agree. There's so much. I wish we had more time, but I want to honor that you are with family and you're about to do some daddy-daughter time.
We can talk. I'm okay.
No, it's okay. But there's so much juiciness to everything you said, from the humble brags that people do that aren't only speaking to the vanity part of what they're experiencing in their business, but they're not sharing the truth. The yuckiness, the messiness is what I tell a lot of my clients. We have to embrace the messiness so we can really get to the root of the challenge and then create from there. So I hear you on so many levels. Like, woo, woman, you're speaking. Like that's what I'll say there. So before we go, I have to ask you my favorite question, which is, how are you giving yourself permission to pause?
Yeah, this is a great question. And I think for me, it's my pivot plan this year is to kind of focus more on my personal brand, and really just building different revenue streams.
Yeah.
And so with that saying, that I decided 2023, I'm going to do more vacations and relaxing. And I worked my butt off during the pandemic. And so, yeah, my goal was this year, I'm okay with just traveling more, enjoying life.
Yes.
And even if temporarily I may be making a little bit less, I'm okay with that.
Listen, when I tell you, Alma, that it is part of the fruit of why we've become so successful, is roughly 10-ish, 11. We started 11 years ago, but we got consistent around maybe 9-10 years ago. Every summer, I do a 6-week self-love vacation. The whole business, everyone in the business, we're all on vacation for 6 weeks straight, kind of like a school year where the whole summer, all the teachers are off. So no one is expecting to access you. And then towards the end of the year, we do a 18 to 21 day winter solstice is what I call it, around the holidays, because my kids were smaller when I started the company. It changed my life. I made so much more money when I started that. And it was a little bit of a dip in the beginning because it's a new thought process. It's a new belief system. I had to really buy into what I was choosing for myself, to value that I wanted time for my mental health, for my ability to hold such a great capacity. And it skyrocketed us because I chose me. Intentionally selfish. I chose me first, and I would never go back. So I hear you fully when you're like, I am living this life and I am enjoying the fruit of everything that I have worked for. Amen.
Yeah, I mean, and I also feel that sometimes you have to take pivots and risks. I mean, for me, my goal is to focus more on being a content creator. I love creating content. It's funny because I've been doing this business for a while, but I realize what I really enjoy is creating content more than anything else. I'm a storyteller at heart, and I really want my revenue to be part. I want to be pretty much get paid to be a creator. I want to create art. I want to create storytelling. And I realized that there's a way to do that online. So I wanted to incorporate content creation and get paid. And when I say that, what I'm saying is making my own stories about me and getting paid for that.
No, I love it. And I see you on IG. You are doing a thing. I think we were connected through a similar incubator, but I was coming out and you were going in or something. And that's how we connected on Facebook, like legitimately with the thread. And then I started seeing some of your content, but you are a really good creator, period. We could stop there. And I'll also add with sharing your stories, sharing your truth, which is important. And it does make you stand out. I can say that because I definitely don't reach out. We get hundreds of requests to be on this show every single month. And it is very rare for me to reach out to someone and say, I need you to be on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're standing out, woman. You're standing out. So go ahead.
So what I want to add to that is I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like this is a great example for your listeners. Like you have to share your truth. I mean, you don't have to, but for me, if you're a creative person, like anybody who's creative, one of the things I could say most of us have in common is that we are trying to share something. There's a story that we want to share.
Yeah.
And we have to share it. Like creative people, whether you're an artist, music, writing, poetry, visual artist, anything, there is a story that you want to share. Your art form, your art that you do, that is telling the story. And I feel like since a little girl, anyone who's super creative, you always wanted to create something since when you were a little kid, right? When you become an adult, in the past, we were always told, well, if you're going to be an artist, you're not going to make money. You're going to be like a starving artist. So how do you make money? And the beautiful thing right now is the internet has so many different ways for you to make money as an artist, to truly get paid. You can teach people online courses like I do. I love teaching people. You can also share your story. You can write a book. You can do ebooks. I mean, I've done all of those things. I've written ebooks. I would like to write a physical book soon.
Nice project. And I'm a reader, so please do and share it with me so I can promote and read because I am a nerd, 1000%.
Yeah. And so you can do all of these things. You can make a living for yourself as a creative person. So when it comes to me, most of my business has been in the consulting and teaching space. And now I'm just kind of incorporating. I still want to maintain that. It's one of the goals is to continue on. I still love teaching. I do not want to stop. But we also want to try to incorporate other revenue streams. So yeah, that's all part of the plan. And a big part of that is finding ways to share my truth in a way that's going to inspire other people and motivate them. And yeah.
Yeah, I 1000% love it. And I'm 100% here for it on so many levels. Thank you, Alma, for taking the time to be with us, to share more of your truth, to give us insight into your pivot plan, and to allow all of the ambitious women and our few brave men that are tuning in every single week to connect to someone who's being honest and real and so giving in all that you are doing now, as well as in the future. We thank you so much. And the only thing I have to ask is where can people connect with you?
Yes, you can go to my website, almabradford.com. I also have a special link I will give you if you want to share in the show notes for people who are looking to grow a service-based business, the different ways that you can monetize. So I will share that with you. Also, you can find me on YouTube at Alma Bradford. I have weekly videos that go out that will show you how to grow a profitable online business, how to do marketing. I have a lot of content all on my YouTube channel. So make sure you go there, subscribe, and connect with me.
Oh, you're such a gift. Thank you so much, Alma. You enjoy your family time coming up and lean heavily into every single thing that you are creating. I stand with you in intention that the way that you want to make money is exactly the way that you will, and it will be in abundance.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Balance Boldly listeners, I told you we were not playing games in 2023, bringing you inspiring, motivating, equipping, and potent humans on every single level. As always, I ask you to do two things. Honor our guests with sharing this episode with at least one person that you know who could benefit from hearing Alma Bradford's truth in this particular instance. And the second is to enjoy the balance of your day, but remember, do it boldly.